Hello, thanks for joining Aso Briefing today. I am Harisi Suraju. Our top stories. FCT Minister's aide faults Senator Inoti Kingibe over ground rent remarks. House of Representatives Committee on Constitutional Review to meet with Nigerian Governors Forum. Flash flood claims 21 lives in Mokwa local government area of Niger State. And in business, Central Bank of Nigeria Governor Olayemi Kadosu wins African Central Bank Governor of the Year Award. You are watching Aso Briefing. Watch us live on DSTV channel 392, Star Times TV channel 127 and Free TV channel 507. Also on UHF band channel 38. We now go ahead with details of all our stories. Starting with the nation's capital. The Senior Special Assistant on Public Communications and Social Media to the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Mr. Miriam Olainka, has criticized Senator Inoti Kingibe for her recent comments on the enforcement of ground rent payment in the FCT. Olainka described the senator's remarks as an expression of bias against the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike and called on her to adopt a more objective approach to public issues. Reacting to Senator Kingibe's opposition to the enforcement drive, Olainka said her statements reflected a lack of understanding of the Land Use Act, particularly with regard to the legal obligations tied to land ownership in the FCT. He emphasized that land allocation is not unconditional, as beneficiaries are expected to meet obligations such as the annual payment of ground rent. Olainka further accused the senator of seeking political advantage by misrepresenting legal facts. He stated that her views amounted to a misrepresentation of the law and described her position as ridiculously embarrassing for a serving lawmaker. According to him, the relevant sections of the Land Use Act empower the government to revoke land allocations for failure to meet conditions attached to certificates of occupancy. Citing Section 28 subsections A and B of the Act, Olainka noted that a breach of any term in the certificate of occupancy, including the non-payment of ground rent, could lead to revocation. He questioned whether the senator was deliberately ignoring these legal provisions or simply choosing to politicize the matter because of personal grievances against the minister. He concluded by suggesting that if Senator Kingibe were the FCT minister, her stance would imply allowing landowners to default on their statutory obligations without consequence. He criticized her for what he described as a myopic attitude and urged her to focus on the legal merits of public policy rather than politicizing governance issues. Still in the nation's capital, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Barrister Nyesom Wike, has inspected ongoing and completed projects across the FCT ahead of activities marking President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's second year in office. The inspection covered the Wassa Road project, the Kubwa Interchange, and the Dakibi Road. Correspondent Usman Khartoum, Umar reports.
As preparations heighten for the commemoration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's 2 years in office, the FCT Minister Barrister Nyesom Wike says infrastructural projects within the territory are progressing well and will be ready for commissioning. The minister, who inspected the Ossex 2 road project from Apo to Wassa, confirmed its completion and assured that streetlights initially excluded when the project was awarded over a decade ago will now be installed.
You remember that this job, that of Ossex 2 leading to Wassa, was not awarded by this administration. That was a job that was awarded by previous administration over 10 years ago. But the spirit and the continuity spirit that the president has, which he said we must complete all those projects. One of the time we went to visit, I asked this question, and he said, well, as at that time, it was not included. And I did direct that we must have street lights on that road. As I speak to you, CGT has submitted their quotation for the street light, even though it will not be part of the inauguration process. But what is important, that we are bent on providing street light to enable to improve on security in those areas. So go home and sleep with your 2 eyes closed, that we are going to put street lights in that Ossex 2.
At the Kubwa Interchange and Dakibi Road, the minister expressed satisfaction with the quality of work and reiterated the administration's commitment to delivering impactful projects. Barrister Wike also praised President Tinubu's performance in the FCT, noting that The current level of development in Abuja is unprecedented.
The assessment, if you have to take, for example, from the FCT, where I superintend by his mandate, you know that Mr. President has done very, very well. Very, very well. It's unprecedented. And you know the problem I have in this country is that even if you don't like somebody as a person, but when he does the good thing, say, look, yes, I'm not in good terms with him, I don't like him. However, he's doing well, or he has done well. Opposition does not necessarily mean anything good you say is bad. Mr. President has done tremendously well. And that's why you see every look and corner of this country, everybody said, look, give him that opportunity again. And the next 2 years, 4 years, you'll see what is going to happen. So I am quite happy with the achievement Mr. President has recorded, particularly as it concerns the Federal Capital Territory. It had never happened before.
On the lingering issue of primary school teachers' strike in the area councils, the minister appealed for swift action from the relevant stakeholders to bring teachers back to the classrooms. The FCT minister reaffirmed that all projects selected for commissioning are on track and would reflect the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. Usman Katun Umar, Aso Radio News.
The former Speaker of Kuje Area Council Legislative Arm, Hajia Aisha Yakubu, an APC aspirant, has called on other aspirants to work as a team to ensure that party emerges victorious in the upcoming FCT Area Council elections. She made this call after submitting her completed expression of interest and nomination forms at the APC National Secretariat in Abuja. Correspondent Abdullahi Mukhtar completes a report.
The National Secretariat of the All Progressive Congress APC was abuzed with activity as aspirants from the 6 area councils of the Federal Capital Territory FCT flocked to collect or return their expressions of interest and nomination forms. Hajia Aisha Yakubu emphasized the importance of giving women opportunities in the upcoming elections, highlighting her own experience as a former speaker and councillor. She expressed her determination to contribute to the development of Kuje area council as the first woman to contest for the position.
To believe that we have what it takes to bring to the table, to contribute towards development and whatever have you. But truth remains that we have been sidelined. We have been sidelined, and yet we are in the system. We're giving all our best. As such, I feel it's time that we are given the opportunity to also bring to the table what we have. Like I said before, I have served, I have supported, and we are always there. So I don't see the reason why we shouldn't give an opportunity.
The former Kuje Central Ward Councillor urged other aspirants to work in harmony to ensure the success of their party in the elections. She emphasized the need for teamwork and cooperation among party members to achieve a common goal.
We are one, irrespective of who emerges at the end of the day. The key or the primary aim is to make sure that the party wins. And I believe that we will see ourselves working together to ensure APC emerge in Kuje Area Council come 2026.
The Director of Elections Management Directorate of the APC National Headquarters, Malan Tasiu Muhammad, confirmed the receipt of Hajia Aisha Yakubu's completed forms as an aspirant from Kuje Area Council.
We have received one of the aspirants from Kuje Area Council, Aisha Yakubu, and duly submitted her expression of interest nomination from her other accompanying documents.
Hajia Aisha Yakubu was accompanied by party supporters, friends and well-wishers, as well as local musicians who added color to the occasion. Abdullahi Mukhtar, Aso Television News.
Now moving to the National Assembly, where the Constitutional Review Committee of the House of Representatives has set July 23, 2025 to meet with the Nigerian Governors Forum with the aim of presenting to them bills currently under consideration and seek their support for passage. Chairman of the committee, The Deputy Speaker of the House, Mr. Benjamin Kalu, disclosed this while unveiling a detailed timeline of activities at a meeting of the panel at the National Assembly, Abuja. He said the committee will also meet with the speakers of the 36 state houses of assembly in a joint retreat with Senate Constitutional Review members to harmonize bills and ensure consistency across the country. Mr. Kalu also said the committee slated an engagement with media executives, including the Guild of Editors, Nigerian Union of Journalists, NUJ, and Nigerian Broadcasters Association, NBN, the civil society organizations, and the diplomatic community, amongst others, to facilitate public discussions and education on constitutional issues, promoting transparency and accountability in the review process. Mr. Kalu also gave a timeline of the anticipated public and national hearings on the bills, as well as a meeting with the 18 registered political parties in the country, saying that the idea is to ultimately aggregate the views of Nigerians. He further stated that the House will hold a one-week plenary debate on the bills, while voting on them is expected to hold on October 14, 2025, just as transmission of the bills to the state assembly is also expected to hold on October 30, 2025. A statement by the Chief Press Secretary to the Deputy Speaker, Mr. Levinos Nwabugegu, said all meetings are part of the committee's efforts to ensure the successful passage of key bills in the review by December 2025. Still from the Parliament, the House of Representatives Committee on Solid Minerals has threatened to recommend revocation of mining licenses of companies operating quarries across the country for either operating illegally or failing to honor legislative summons. Chairman of the committee, Mr. Jonathan Gaza Wefi, issued the threat during an investigative hearing on activities of mining companies in Nigeria. He expressed displeasure that several quarry operators had refused to honor the committee's invitations, describing their actions as a flagrant disregard for the laws of the land. Mr. Wefi specifically ordered Arab contractors and Omatech to either present all relevant documents authorizing their quarry operations or shut down immediately, adding that the Arab contractors were found to be operating on illegal quarry site without securing the required approvals from relevant authorities. He said an oversight visit by the committee to several quarry sites in the Federal Capital Territory exposed a deplorable state of affairs, particularly the failure of companies to fulfill their community development obligations. The lawmaker further warned that beyond recommending the suspension of operational licenses for defaulting firms, the committee may be compelled to push for the outright revocation of such licenses. The House of Representatives Committee on Basic Education and Examination Bodies has asked the West African Examination Council (WAEC) to appear today, Friday, May 30th, and address concerns surrounding ongoing senior school certificate examinations (SSCE). Chairman of the committee, Mr. Oboku Ofoji, issued a statement on Thursday following WAEC's failure to honor an earlier invitation to appear before the panel. According to the lawmaker, the committees had invited WAEC to provide explanations over widespread complaints and irregularities observed during the ongoing examinations. The committee's chairman recalled that the committee extended an invitation to WAEC on Tuesday, May 27, 2025, seeking clarification on various issues disrupting the conduct of the exams across the country. He expressed disappointment at WAEC's absence during the scheduled hearing, describing it as unacceptable given the scale of public outcry over the conduct of the exams. The lawmaker emphasized that the committee expects WAEC to appear before it on Friday, warning that failure to do so would compel the legislative committee to invoke the constitutional powers of the House to ensure compliance. Now, the federal government says it will soon launch a registration portal for the proposed National Youth Summit. Minister of Youth Development Ayodele Olawande, who disclosed this on a live television interaction program, said though young Nigerians were eager to participate in the conference, nothing could be gained without proper planning. The minister also said that the implementation of the resolutions from the summit will be done in legislative and administrative ways. It will be recalled during Nigeria's 64th Independence Day anniversary broadcast on October 1st, 2024, President Tinubu announced a 30-day confab for youths in the country to discuss and address challenges confronting them. He explained that the modalities of this confab and selection of delegates would be designed in close consultation with young people through their representatives. The president also said that the government would thoroughly consider and implement the recommendations and outcomes from the forum as part of his administration's efforts to build a more inclusive, prosperous, and united Nigeria. Coming up on Aso Briefing, CBN Governor Olayemi Kadusu wins African Central Bank Governor of the Year Award. Please stay with us.
Nigeria's foreign.
We were warned about this marriage. Because we did not listen, the young maiden is dead.
Nana, come here. Hi. Why do you speak so freely with a stranger from Ajani?
We were just talking about offering Ojigijag a seat on the council.
The gods be praised. Legodo Zelko Sisi, he has 2 wives. So why are you making it look like it is a big deal?
Thanks for staying with us, and the news continues. The federal government has been urged to review the country's national security architecture by shifting focus from its urban-centric approach to a more inclusive strategy that prioritizes forest and park security, now hotspots for criminal and terrorist activities. This formed part of the recommendations at the 4th National Security Summit convened by the Nigerian Forest Security Service, NFSS, which brought together stakeholders from across the country to address pressing security concerns. Daniel Obi reports.
With the theme Enhancing National Security in Nigeria's Forests, the role and intervention of the Nigerian Forest Security Service in combating insecurity, kidnapping, and illegal mining activities, the summit provided a forum for experts, including traditional leaders, to propose strategies to curb rising insecurity in Nigeria's ecological zones. The Commandant General of the NFSS, Dr. Joshua Adewale Osatimehin, reaffirmed the agency's readiness to protect the nation's forests. He stressed that the NFSS is equipped with the manpower, grassroots presence, and intelligence gathering capacity to act as effective first responders in the fight against terrorism and related crimes.
We are foresters. We work within the forested region. Kamoku Forest, like this is the Birigwari, is almost like to say that's 2 of Lagos State. And when you look at the northwest, Kaduna is a pillar. Kaduna share boundary with about 4 or 5 states there. And some of these states also share border with external country, making it very easy for the miscreant to move across the border. If the communities are doing their best, the best must be done within the forest as well.
Traditional leaders, including the Tortiv, His Royal Majesty, Professor James Otese Ayatse, advised the agency to uphold professionalism and remain apolitical, regardless of external pressures.
So I want to assure you that we will support you. In any state you get, make sure you recognize and work with the traditional institution, and it will be well with you. A lot has been said by way of advice, because synergy, as was rightly said, brings energy. And if you synergize with the other security agencies, it's not a matter of superiority. Everybody has been assigned function. So we work closely with all the other security agencies. You will not have any problem.
The NFSS boss commended the Senate for passing the Forest Security Bill and appealed to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to allow the agency form the core of the proposed National Forest Guards. According to him, the NFSS is well positioned both in training and capacity to meet the demands of safeguarding Nigeria's forest reserves. Daniel Obi, Aso Television News.
A devastating flash flood has claimed 21 lives and left more than 10 persons missing in Mokwa local government area of Niger State, following a torrential downpour that struck overnight. According to a statement issued by the Acting Director General of Niger State Emergency Management Agency, NSEMA, Ibrahim Husseini, the disaster struck the communities of Tifumaza and Angwan Hausawa in Mokwa town during heavy rainfall of high intensity that lasted for several hours. The floodwaters submerged and washed away over 50 residential houses along with their occupants, resulting in significant casualties and property loss. In response, the Niger State Emergency Management Agency, in collaboration with the Mokwa Local Government Authority, local divers, and courageous volunteers, launched immediate search and rescue operations to find survivors and recover bodies. As of the time of this report, 3 survivors, a woman and her 2 children, are receiving medical treatment for injuries and trauma at the Mokwa General Hospital. So far, 21 corpses have been recovered, while search and rescue efforts are ongoing to locate more than 10 persons still missing. The DG Husseini said SEMA has assured the public of continued efforts to provide support and relief to the affected families and communities. Now in business, the Governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Olayemi Kadosu, has been named as the Central Bank Governor of the Year by the African Banker magazine at the 2025 African Banker Awards held in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire. A press release by the bank disclosed the CBN boss was recognized for his bold and strategic leadership in steering monetary and regulatory reforms that have restored stability and confidence in Nigeria's financial system. The award committee commended the Central Bank of Nigeria under Kadosu for implementing key policy measures aimed at stabilizing Naira, improving transparency in the foreign exchange market, and re-establishing policy credibility. Represented at the event by the advisor to the CBN Governor on Stakeholder Engagement and Strategic Communications, Dr. Nkiru Balongo, the statement disclosed that she was accompanied on stage by the bank's Director of Monetary Policy Department, Dr. Victor Obu, and the Director of the Banking Supervision Department, Dr. Ulubukola Akinwumi, and a member of the bank's Monetary Policy Committee, Dr. Aloysius Uche Odu. The annual event draws senior figures from government, banking, and development finance institutions across the continent to celebrate excellence in African finance. Still on business, following the recent 2-day ministerial performance management retreat organized by the Ministry of Finance, Federal Ministry of Finance has taken a significant step towards driving economic growth and development with the signing of the 2025 performance contract by its directors and heads of units. This is made known in a statement signed by the Director of Information and Public Relations to the Ministry, Mr. Mohamed Manga. In her remarks, Permanent Secretary to the Ministry, Mrs. Lydia Shehu Jeffia, emphasized that the 2025 performance contract signing is a renewed call to action for the Ministry's directors to drive Nigeria's economic growth and development. The Permanent Secretary noted that this initiative is in line with the vision of the Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edu, and the Minister of State for Finance, Dr. Doris Nkiruka Uzoka-Anite, to ensure that the ministry remains Nigeria's #1 service delivery ministry. She explained that this will be achieved through proper management of the nation's finance in an open, transparent, accountable, and efficient manner that delivers on the country's development priorities, in line with the renewed hope agenda of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's led administration. Mrs. Jafia urged the directors to ensure the realization of the ministry's mandate and cascade their responsibilities to their subordinates for proper succession planning. Also speaking, Permanent Secretary to the Ministry on Special Duties, Mr. Raymond Omenka Omachi, highlighted the importance of collaboration and teamwork in achieving the ministry's mandate as well as policy objectives of the federal government, and that collective effort is crucial in driving the government's vision. According to the statement, the signing ceremony signifies the ministry's commitment to achieving excellence and deliver results-driven performance, and that as drivers of Nigeria's economy, the directors' commitment to their duties will be instrumental in shaping the nation's development. Now, Mauritania's former economy minister, Sidi Ould Tah, was on Thursday elected to succeed Nigeria's Akinwumi Adesina as president of the African Development Bank (AFDB) and tackled the withdrawal of U.S. financing from the institution. TAR secured the prestigious post winning 76.18% of votes. Zambian economist Samuel Munzele Maimbu trailed well behind in second on 20.26%, with Senegal's Amadou Houft third on 3.6%. The winner had to secure both a majority of votes from all 81 member countries and a majority of votes from the 54 African nations who are part of the AFDB. TAR, who headed the Arab Bank for Economic Development in Africa for 10 years, secured 72.37% of African votes. In his speech for the AFDB leadership, he vowed to strengthen regional financial institutions, assert Africa's financial independence on global markets, use population growth as a development lever, and build climate change-resistant infrastructure. The AFDB, founded in 1964, is one of the world's largest multilateral development banks and is funded by member subscriptions, loans raised on global markets, as well as repayments and income from loans. That's the news, but before we go, let's take a look at one of our headlines. The Senior Special Assistant on Public Communications and Social Media to the FCT Minister, Mr. Leah Olayenka, has criticized Senator Ireti Kingibe for her recent comments on the enforcement of ground rent payment in the FCT. And that's Aso Briefing for today. Many thanks for watching. I am Haris Sidi Suraju. Have a good day.